Assalamu alaikum class. In the previous video we started chapter number 5 related to the integration, in fact applications of integration, in which we discussed the line integral first. And here is a really very important theorem related to the line integral. If a is equal to del of phi everywhere in a region R of space defined by where x is lying between a1 to a2, that is the limits of x is a1 to a2, and y is lying between b1 and b2, and z is lying between c1 and c2, where phi of x, y, z is a single valued having continuous derivatives in R. What is meant by the single value? That is, for each pair of x, y and z we are going to have one defined value and it has continuous derivatives in R. Then the first part is saying that the integral from p1 to p2 a dot dr is independent of the path c in R joining p1 and p2. So clearly we are having 2 points p1 and p2, and we can join these 2 points in any way. So if we are joining these points by the curve c1 or c2 or c3, when we are going to calculate p1 to p2 a dot dr, it is independent of the path. That is, if I am calculate about this c1 or c2 or c3, the final answer will be the same in all the three cases. So the second part is saying that the closed integral a dot dr is equal to 0. That is, the line integral will be 0 around a closed curve. In such a case, a is called a conservative vector field, and the vector field phi is named as the scalar potential. So why we are saying that when p1 to p2 a dot dr is independent of the path, then it will be 0 about the closed curve, because when I'm saying that we are having a point p1 and a point p2 and I'm joining it from the curve c1, and let's suppose when I calculate p1 to p2 a dot dr, we get the answer a. Now when I'm going to say that we are having a closed curve means that the initial and the terminal points are the same. So again I'm going to join p2 to p1, and when I'm going to calculate p2 to p1, it will be equal to negative times of this integral p1 to p2. So it will be equal to minus a, and both terms will be cancelled out and we will get answer to be 0. That's why we are saying that whenever we are having p1 to p2 a dot dr independent of the path, that is a is equal to del of phi, then a dot dr along a closed curve c will be 0, and in such a case a is named as a conservative vector field and phi is named as the scalar potential. Vector field A is called conservative if del cross A is equal to 0 or A is equal to del of phi. Next we will discuss about the surface integral. Simple words, line integral is a one-dimensional integral and surface integral is related to the two-dimensional integral. So let's suppose that S be a two-sided surface as shown in the figure. One side is arbitrarily taken to be positive, and a unit normal n, here you can see a unit normal n to the any point of this side is called a positive or outward drawn unit normal. Now we are saying that this portion, this smaller portion, is representing ds. Here this is representing ds, where ds is basically the differential of the surface area ds, whose magnitude is ds and the direction is in the direction of n. So we are related or defining a vector ds whose magnitude is equal to the differential of surface area ds, and its direction is in the direction of the unit normal n. So ds is defined to be n on n into ds. The integral double integral a dot ds is defining a surface integral, or the double integral a dot n ds is also defining a surface integral over here, and it is named as the flux of a over x. Here we also have some other examples of surface integrals: the double integral phi ds along the surface S, the double integral phi n ds of the over the surface S, and the double integral a cross ds, where phi is a scalar field potential or a scalar potential. The integral along a closed curve S is denoted by this representation, and you can see that line integral is representing the one-dimensional integral, surface integral are representing the two-dimensional integrals, and on the similar lines the volume integral will be about the three-dimensional integrals or the triple integrals. We will discuss about the volume integrals later. Here we are going to solve question number 19 related to the surface integral. Evaluate a dot n ds over the surface S, where a is given to be the vector and S is the part of the plane 2x plus 3y plus 6z is equal to 12, which is located in the first octant. Now what is meant by the first octant? As we know that when we talk about the Cartesian coordinate system in which we have two axes, x and y, so we have four quadrants, first, second, third and fourth. That is 2 raised to the power 2 is equal to 4, and when we have the three x's, that is x, y and z, then we will have 2 raised to the power 3, that is 8 parts or the 8 quadrants or the 8 portions. That's why these are named as the octants. And here we are having a figure. Here you can clearly see that when we are having a system with a 3 dimension, that is x, y and z, you can see the 8 quadrants or the 8 octants, first, second, third, fourth. In first one all are positive, and then we are having different combinations in the other quadrants. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh and eighth. So we are having 8 quadrants here. So now come to the question. We are saying that the surface is defined over here, which is located in the first octant. So the first term or the first thing we have to do in such questions is to draw the figure. So the surface is 2x plus 3y plus 6 is equal to 12. Now how we can draw such a figure? To find out its portion in the xy plane, we will put z is equal to 0. So here I have put z is equal to 0 and we get the equation 2x plus 3y is equal to 12. And now we can draw the line by putting x is equal to 0 and then y is equal to 0. So we get the point 0, 4 and 0, 6, 0. So here I have drawn the points and joined these points. Then for yz plane, what we have to do, we have to put x is equal to 0. We get the equation y plus 2z is equal to 4. Again we will put y is equal to 0 to get the point 0, 2, and when we will put z is equal to 0, we get the point 4, 0. So here we have joined yz and here we have the point xb, and here is the corresponding surface. Now we will take its reflection on the xy plane. So if we are taking the reflection on xy plane, dx will be equal to dx dy over n dot k. We can take the reflection on yz plane or on xz plane as well. So in the case of yz plane, ds will be equal to dy dz over n dot I, and in the case of xz plane, it will be equal to dx dz over n dot j. So it all depends on the surface that its reflection is possible on which plane. So right now we are taking its reflection on the xy plane. ds will be equal to dx dy over n dot k, wherein is the unit normal to the surface basically. And how we can calculate the unit normal to the surface? We will simply find out the gradient of the given surface. 2x plus 3y plus 6z is equal to 12. So here we are taking the gradient of the surface, which will represents the unit normal vector, that is n, and to find out the unit normal, we will find out its magnitude first. So here we can see the gradient of the surface, that is the derivative with respect to x will be equal to 2. So 2i cap plus its derivative with respect to y, that is 3. So 3j cap plus 6k cap, and its magnitude is equal to 7. So the unit normal to the surface will be n is equal to 1 by 7 2i plus 3j plus 6k cap. Now n dot k will be equal to 6 by 7. So here we get ds is equal to dx dy over 6 by 7. Now we will evaluate a dot n. So a dot n is represented over here 36 by 7z minus 36 by 7 plus 18 by 7y. As ds is equal to dx dy over n dot k, therefore we will eliminate z in terms of x and y, because we will integrate in terms of x and y. So we shouldn't have any other variable. So we will evaluate z in terms of x and y, and here we can see z in terms of x and y, and we will put this value in a dot n. So here you can see that it is totally dependent on x and y. Now we will insert the value. So the surface integral a dot n ds is equal to, we will at first put the value of ds, which is equal to dx dy over n dot k, that is 7 by 6 into dx dy, and we will put the value of a dot n. So here you can see the value of a dot n. So this 7 will be cancelled out, and we will further simplify it by taking 6 common. So we are left with 6 minus 2x dx dy, and now we have to evaluate this double integral. Now as we are taking the integral with respect to x and y, that is in the xy plane, so at first we will put z is equal to 0 and the equation is given over here. 2x plus 3y is equal to 12 and y is equal to 12 minus 2x over 3. Now it's totally up to you that you want to eliminate y in terms of x or x in terms of y. So here we have eliminated y in terms of x so that we can integrate y from 0 to 12 minus 2x over 3, this value, and then we will define a particular real value for x to find out a well-defined real number as an answer, and x is varying from 0 to 6. And how we have eliminated this limits for x? The limit of x is eliminated in this figure. As you can see that x is varying from 0 to 6, so we are taking x from 0 to 6. And on the other side, if we eliminate x in terms of y, so we have to put the real limit for y, and y is varying from 0 to 4. So in that case we will put y is varying from 0 to 4 and x is varying from 0 to some expression in terms of y. So here we have integrated it with respect to y first, because y is in terms of x, so we have integrated it with respect to y first. It will be equal to 6y minus 2xy, and y is varying from 0 to 12 minus 2x over 3, and we will put the limits over here. So here we have put the limits and we get the answer 24 minus 12x plus 4 by 3x square, and now we will integrate it with respect to x varying from 0 to 6, and here is the final answer for it. Next we have question number 23. If f is 4xz I cap minus y square j cap plus yz k cap, evaluate the surface integral f dot n ds, where s is the surface of the cube obtained by x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1. Similarly, y is varying from 0 and 1 and z is having the value 0 and 1. So here how we can calculate the surfaces? So you can see that we do not have any particular value or particular equation for the surface that we can draw, or that we can find out the gradient to find out the unit normal. So in such case the unit normal will be along some axis. It could be positive x-axis or negative x-axis, again positive y-axis or negative y-axis, or similarly positive z-axis or negative z-axis. So here we can see that we are having a cube varying from 0 and 1. So here is the following cube, and we are having total 6 surfaces, 1 for it. And how we are having the 6 surfaces? 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 surfaces. So we will evaluate these term by term and then it will be clear to you. So we are having a face ABGF, that is this one. Here we are having the face ABGF, and this will be the unit normal in the to the surface. And here you can see that it will be along positive x-axis, that is it will be equal to I unit vector, and at this point x is equal to 1, so we have put x is equal to 1. So f dot n ds will become f dot I dy dz, because its reflection will be on yz plane. So we have put dy dz f dot I. And why we are not putting the denominator? Because when we are having the reflection on the yz plane, it will be equal to dy dz over n dot I, and n is equal to I unit vector I, so I dot I will be equal to 1. That's why we have not shown over here that n dot I is equal to 1. So f dot I dy dz, and here we have evaluated f dot I, and then we have put it from 0 to 1, and here is the answer 2. Now come to the second phase GBCD, and here is the second phase GBCD, and here you can see that the unit normal will be along y-axis, that is it will be equal to the unit vector j, and its reflection will be on xz plane, and at this point y is equal to 1. So here you can see n is equal to the unit vector j and y is equal to 1, and again we have evaluated f dot n, inserting the value y is equal to 1, and then on integration we get minus 1. Then we will calculate it about the surface or the face CDEO, and here you can see that for the face CDEO, that is here is the face CDEO, and the unit normal will be along minus unit vector I, and its reflection will be on xy plane. Sorry, its reflection will be on this plane, that is this plane, and it is yz plane, and x will be equal to 0 in this case. So here we have put, So here we have put n is equal to minus unit vector I and x is equal to 0, and we have evaluated f dot n which is equal to 0. That's why your resultant will be 0. Similarly, for the other faces we have evaluated the surface integrals, and we have find out the final resultant by adding all the terms, which is going to be 3 by